So in episode 2 of HBO's Run, Ruby has one thing on her mind while Billy seems to be very distracted. We meet a new character, and does the story open up a little bit more? Do we get a little bit more thriller aspects? We're going to talk about that and much more. Episode 2 of Run was titled Kiss. During their first night aboard, Ruby's mind is consumed by sex while Billy probes for personal details. She's reluctant to give up, comfortable by the fact that her husband believes she's on a yoga retreat, and determined to make Billy jealous. Ruby brazenly connects with Derek, a stranger on the train. Meanwhile, Billy works to shake a persistent figure from his past. Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Movie Files. Elliot here, back talking about episode 2 of HBO's new comedy thriller Run. We're talking about episode 2 titled Kiss. I'm very excited to talk about it in this spoiler review. Before we dive into it, as you all can see on the screen now, make sure you're following me on all my social media accounts. If you're new to this channel, definitely subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss any of my new content. Give this video a thumbs up, really helps out the channel, but also really appreciate it. And last but not least, if and when you've seen this latest episode of HBO's Run, episode 2 Kiss, let me know what you all thought of it. Are you still hooked by this show? Do you want to know what's going to happen next? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So we talked about episode 1 last week. It was a non-spoiler review, and didn't hear that much buzz about it as the week went on, as far as, Twitter accounts, Instagram. A lot of people didn't really talk about it. And as you all saw from my last week's review, I'm invested in the story enough so far in regards to the characters. I'm a big fan of the actors involved, big fans of the writers and everyone involved there. So I always give a show 3 episodes. In episode 2, a little bit more the same from episode 1. Obviously Ruby wants to get it on. She wants to kind of rekindle that love, or at least the physical aspect of what her and Billy used to had. And Billy's just kind of in his own head in a sense of life has moved on. I assume they're probably around 15, 20 years removed from whatever they had when they were in college. But, from last week, Billy saw the picture on her phone. He realizes that she has a family, which kind of was a little weird in the sense that I find it very hard to believe that Billy, this was his first time he ever looked up Ruby and found out about Lance, or I think that's her husband's name, and saw that she had a family. I find it very hard to believe, but apparently so. This is his first time seeing that she has a husband. He seems to be successful with his tech company. She has a family, 2 kids, and, as Ruby's trying to, get it on with them in the cabin, he notices she had a little slip on her stomach, probably due to having 2 kids and having a C-section potentially. So it kind of gets in his head, right? And he's kind of just like, things have moved on. But Ruby's in another place. We haven't learned that much about her family, but it seems like she obviously is not in a good place with her relationship with her husband. And obviously whoever Fiona is with, Billy's character, I don't know if it is a wife, if it's his girlfriend, if it's someone important to him that's been trying to get a hold of him and figure out where he is. So we'll find out more about that. But in regards to this episode, guys, again, I'm a big fan of the talent, and I'm going to give it one more episode. But this episode really didn't do much for me in regards to some of the comedy work, but a lot of the comedy did. And like when they were, taking off each other's clothes, you've seen that a million times in rom-coms. It's just like, it's not funny at this point where they're hitting their heads on things, dropping things. Just like, sure, that I get it, that they're both a little awkward at this point. They don't know who that person that they knew 20 years ago is now. And obviously Ruby's has a little bit insecurity about herself. And again, Billy feels like she's cheating on her husband, which she essentially is. And they're both in each other's heads in regards to, Ruby tries to make him jealous with the whole Derek character, which I thought was didn't really do much for me in regards to just that character and everything that he kind of brought to the table. But again, we got next week's episode, guys. This one was okay in regards to, again, I like the talent. I like kind of where the story's potentially headed. We see that Ruby, by the end of the episode, tries to take money out of the ATM. She calls her husband, and he leaves that voicemail simply alluding to he's fed up at this point in regards to his wife just walked out for not only him, but also their kids. And obviously their relationship seems to be like she takes care of a lot of that stuff with the kids, and he's just always working. So that's kind of stereotypical in this type of story in regards to the wife's upset at where she is in her life, and she just feels like she probably gave up whatever she wanted to do. I don't know if it is official that she is an architect or she wanted to be one, but then she became a mom and didn't do that. So again, very surface level story so far, but I'm really hoping that the thriller aspect picks up next week. I didn't see a trailer for next week, so I'm hoping that we find out why Billy called her and who's Fiona. And did he do something wrong? And is there some other dark, sinister stuff going on there? Or if it's just more or less of a midlife crisis. So we'll see. This again, episode 1 and 2 are very similar, where they're just very surface level, and we're getting to know the characters to an extent, but not enough to really kind of keep me like, oh man, I can't wait to see what happens next. But I'll give it one more episode, guys. But let me know what you all thought about episode 2, Kiss, your pros, your cons, and what you hope to see in next week's episode 3. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell so you don't miss any of my content. Check out my reviews I did over the weekend. Awesome YouTube live stream for Watch Along with Devs. Got a lot of projects in the work, a lot of collaborations coming this week. So hit that bell so you don't miss any of my content. So thank you all for watching this review, and we'll see you soon.